Hi, this is Eric from Longbox Review at longboxreview.wordpress.com.
And this is Travis from Oddfellows Thoughts at oddfellowsthoughts.wordpress.com.
And Travis and I are here today for episode 21 to discuss our excitement. Is that an appropriate word, Travis? Excitement?
Oh, yeah.
About the Emerald City Comicon, which is coming up very soon. It's the 10th anniversary edition. But first, I want to introduce a very special guest. Go ahead, special guest. Introduce yourself.
I'm Ethan Sparkman. I do video reviews for Monster Review Comics with Travis.
He's my other half as far as us reading books and spouting our opinion on what we're reading.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the videos that Travis and Ethan do, you really should check them out. I mentioned them, I think, in the last podcast, but check out Travis's blog and look at the videos because it's really nice to see, as I said before, an older reader and a younger reader talking comics and what you guys think about them. I think I really enjoy that stuff that you guys do. So everyone should check it out. But we are all here to talk about Emerald City Comicon today, which is coming up next weekend as we record this, which means it's March 30th, 31st, and April 1st at the Washington State Convention Center in Seattle, Washington. Beautiful Seattle, Washington.
Yep.
I love Seattle, and not just for the Comic-Con. I just enjoy that city in general. I don't get to go there very often, but for the past 3 years, I've gone to, 3 years coming up this weekend. I've been going to the Emerald City Comicon, and that's as long as you've been going, right, Travis?
That's right.
So yeah, it was you and I had actually talked about going to Emerald City Comicon, I think 2 or 3 years prior to when we actually went, right?
Yeah.
And it was, for me, it was, mostly kind of money and whatnot that prevented me from going. But then the year that we both went that first time, I think we both kind of independently decided, yeah, we're going. And then we found out that that both of us were going, and so it was even more fun because I had a friend there.
Yep.
So to experience that stuff. Travis, so I just want to talk about Emerald City, what's going on with it, and why we think it's such a great show, because it is a very great show. But first, let me just back up a little bit. Was Emerald City your first Comic-Con?
Yes.
Okay. And I assume then, Ethan, that is also true for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, who has he been going with if not you? Okay. So just as a point of reference only, I had gone to one previous Comic-Con before Emerald City, but that was a long time ago. I had the great opportunity to go down to the San Diego Comic-Con back in 1996.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know how I managed to do it, because back in 96 we didn't exactly have a lot of money to do something like that, but we managed to pull some cash together and go down there, my wife and I. We did go with our friend Greg.
So was that before it was like the media darling that it is now, with all of Hollywood there all hanging out quite so much?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It was pretty much, I would describe it as Emerald City as we saw last year.
Uh-huh.
Maybe 50% more of that. More people.
Right.
It was just wall-to-wall people, but it was in a bigger space too, I think. I'm going off really old memories now, but
really old memories, right.
but yeah, it wasn't the big media frenzy thing that it is now. For sure.
Didn't have a lot of TV and movie people there, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were some things like that, but not to the degree that I've seen.
Well, the typical pop culture guests that show up at all of these kinds of bigger cons, right? But they're not there trying to sell a movie and TV show and that sort of thing like they are now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah. So anyway, I went to that. I had the great pleasure of going to that. That was a hell of an experience. I got to see Stan Lee walk by, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Stan Lee!" It was amazing. The reaction of people, as people in these hushed tones going, Stan Lee, like, look, it's Stan Lee.
Do you want to hear my Stan Lee experience?
Sure. What's your experience with him?
What was it? Last year he was at Emerald City Comicon, or the first year? I can't. That we went. I can't remember which year.
It was the first year.
I think
it was the first
yeah.
year.
It was the first year.
So we're over by that side where all the media guests are getting, pictures taken and whatnot. And I'm not really interested in having my picture taken with people. I really just talk to the creators. That's what I'm out for the con for. Anyway, there were other people that were trying to take a picture of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly everyone is swarmed with security guards taking people's cameras and whatnot, going, you can't take pictures of, unless you paid whatever the price was. That's my experience about Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that too from other people.
Wow. Okay. I understand that's where they get their money out and whatnot, but at the same time it was like, the people should have been uncool trying to sneak a picture, but at the same time, Lord.
Yeah. I've heard his handlers are pretty militant about certain things.
Sure.
Some other podcasts I listen to talk about their dealings with Stan Lee, and he seems to be a really great guy. And if you've have you ever listened to him talk or seen him? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
any interview he seems pretty genuine, of a guy. I mean, I don't have an issue with him. It was just that was my experience. Was like, there's Stan Lee, and somebody in the crowd, the line where I was at, snapped a picture, and suddenly we had all these dudes in our faces going, you can't be taken. It was just interesting.
Wait, so were you somehow part of that group or something?
No,
or? Okay.
I was next to the guy who was taking the picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
No, I don't know. I don't have a clue who that person was. No, it seemed pretty obvious to me that people were paying to have pictures with the guy.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense that would not be a setting to be trying to take your own picture. I mean, it made sense to me that it wouldn't be. But yeah, it was just interesting. Anyway, we're getting off subject, so.
But yeah, so and the other thing I just wanted to mention because I just thought was really cool. So this is 1996, and that was about the time that Kingdom Come was either coming out or just about to come out. I can't remember now.
Uh-huh.
And the DC booth, which was huge there at that time, and they had these big, gigantic posters and
that art
of the what's his name?
Alex Ross.
Yeah. The Alex Ross art, for the Kingdom Come stuff, and then they had the music, this big, loud, booming Wagnerian music, in the background. Ooh. It was really cool. Anyway,
I want one of those posters.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was 1996. That was my first Comic-Con and my last until flash forward several years. This is 2012. So that'd be 2010, where we went to the first Emerald City.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that much time passed. And we went to the first year. I had a blast, Travis. I don't know about you.
Oh, definitely.
And here we are 2 years later, going to the 10th anniversary edition of the Emerald City Comicon. So let's just briefly talk about what's going on with the Emerald City. So like I said, it's March 30th, 31st, and April 1st, which I always just kind of find funny. It being April 1st. April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be some sort of April Fool's Day type thing going. Anyway, you put April 1st in front of me, and I instantly think something weird's going to happen.
You comment on the April 1st thing.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we were really lucky, and we got to go to the front of the line. And we were in line with somebody who we'd been in line with last year, and he was talking about how next year, it'd be on April Fool's Day, and you'd go up to one of the artists and you'd be like, "Can I have a picture of Batman?" And they'd draw you your commission, and it'd be like Kirby, and you'd have a little bat symbol on his belly chest thing, and he had little bat ears, and be like, "Is this what you want?"
Yeah, we kind of wondered. You imagine going, and you finally make it in the line to get a sketch from your favorite artist, and they crank out something that's totally not what you asked for, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
April Fools. Yeah.
Ooh, boy. As long as they don't make you pay for it.
Yeah. Was that $200? Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Oh yeah. So I already told you the dates. Let's see. How much are tickets for the full 3 days? So this is I should say there. So it's on March 30th, which is Friday. It actually opens up at 2, right, Travis?
Yes.
I believe that's true. And then Saturday and Sunday are a full day. But basically, you can get what?
Yeah, you can't buy advance tickets now.
Yeah, I was just seeing that. I'm looking at the website now at emeraldcitycomicon.com, and yeah, all of the online presale stuff has ended, and tickets are only available at the door and at select retailers. So I guess if you're planning a last minute trip to Seattle to go to the Emerald City Comicon, you haven't bought your tickets in advance. Hopefully they have some tickets. Anyway, but you can get a 3-day pass, or you can get day passes either way. But man, you certainly, if you haven't done so, you certainly should have done so. Bought your tickets in advance, because you do save a bit of money on that. Which I believe you and I, as soon as they announced the con ticket sales in November, does that sound right? November?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think you and I bought them that day.
Yeah, I had them within hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at work calling the wife. Hey, you gotta get the tickets now.
Yeah. So I think that night, after I got home from work, Kitra and I talked about it, and we bought our tickets too. But anyway, so you can get tickets at the door now if you haven't bought them already. But I want to mention that for the 3-day pass, if you bought them in advance, that's $45 for 3 days. That's a pretty damn good price, I think.
I think so too.
For a con, especially considering San Diego. I don't know if you've ever looked at the prices for San Diego, Travis, but it's expensive as hell. And I heard that this year they sold out within, I don't know, an hour, maybe 2.
Right.
Something like
yeah,
that.
No time at all.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
And now starts the fight for hotels down there and stuff. The whole thing sounds way too stressful for my blood.
You mean for Emerald City?
No, not Emerald City.
Okay, San Diego. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of hotels, I'm looking at the hotels page, and oh my gosh, all but one hotel is sold out.
Yeah,
and
they added hotels.
Yeah, so let's see, there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hotels that they have some sort of agreement with, and yeah, all but one is sold out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm just across the street. I don't know where you got your hotel at, but my hotel's across the street. So, and I picked, like I said, I went and got the tickets and the hotel reservations immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't waste any time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're staying in the same place that we did last year.
Right.
Is that where you're at too?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. We'll see each other then.
I'm sure we will.
And so actually that brings up a good point, because you think it's a Seattle Comic-Con, but Seattle is it's a somewhat big city, especially from where we live.
Oh, definitely.
Further east of that, but this show, there's so much to this show. The different areas, the vendor area and the autograph area and where all the panels are, and they added they have some gaming stuff. They have a bunch of guests, not just media guests, but other kinds of guests. We'll get to that in a minute. It's there a lot of the time. So for the past 2 years, Travis and I have gone. We almost hardly see each other around at the con. Maybe when we go to the same panels, that's about it. Right. But just walking around, maybe I saw you once or twice.
Yeah.
During the whole 3 days that we were there.
Yep.
So it's there's just so much stuff and so much things to see and do there. So it's quite a big con from our perspective, I think, anyway.
Sure.
Anyway, so that's tickets and hotels. Boy, maybe we should have talked about this stuff a month ago, Travis. maybe to have some better news for people who may not have who haven't decided to go to the con. Anyway, let's see. Now let's just get right into the guests here. Travis, why do you go to the Emerald City Comicon?
I go to talk to the creators. That's why I go. I go to talk to the creators and hear from the creators.
Mhm.
That's why I'm going. I'm always excited to see who's going to be there, the books that I read or are interested in, or creators that I'm interested in, to find out what the next thing they're doing that maybe I haven't heard about on the internet and whatnot.
Mhm.
Get some books signed, of course, while I'm there. But that's the biggest reason, is to be a stupid fanboy, I guess, and gush over the people who make the stuff that I love so much.
Yeah. That all the same for me. Ethan, what about you?
I go mostly the same reason as Travis does, but there's also other things, like it's cool to go to the panels for me and listen to the people who run the comics that I read talk about stuff, and it'd be cool. We were talking earlier about how, oh no, more people can't come, but it'd be cool if more people did come, because if more people come, then maybe it'd be bumped up to a higher priority con, and then maybe they'd actually release stuff compared to telling us stuff that they told at other people at the last big con. And it's cool to buy stuff from the creators instead of like, oh, well, you bought this online from this person. It's cool to be able to hand the money to the creator and talk with them about what you're buying while you're buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you get it signed and stuff, and that's always nice too.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ethan, I'm glad you brought that up. That's one thing that really bugged me about last year's Comic-Con. It had nothing to do with Emerald City itself, but Travis and Ethan, I think you both would agree, we were pretty irritated with DC especially.
Yes.
Yep.
Because we were hoping for some information about what's coming up next, and everything, and all we were told was read Flashpoint.
Yeah. Well, because just for people who are listening, the historical standpoint for us is DC was going through this stage of canceling a lot of books.
Yep.
I mean, the variety of books were just disappearing really rapidly going up to Emerald City Comicon, and of course we showed up there wanting to know, well, you're reducing all this variety, what's coming? And their only answer was read Flashpoint, but they couldn't tell us jack about Flashpoint even.
Right.
Of course, now we know that it wasn't just Flashpoint, it was really what was going to happen after Flashpoint was, what they probably wanted to tell us but couldn't tell us, kind of a thing. So I don't think we're in that state this year as far as
mad about how they're canceling all the variety out of it.
But Ethan does bring up a good point. It would be nice. It would be nice. I think that this is a really good con, and of course I'm saying that from a perspective of never been to another one, But just hearing other people talk about their cons and the creators who come to this con, how much they like the con, you would think that we'd get some special treatment too. Well, because it seems like what happens is Emerald City Con lands between WonderCon and the Chicago
C2E2.
Yeah, and so those seem to be the things that they gear up to put stuff out for, and kind of forget about us.
Yeah, that's I think that's exactly true. Hopefully we'll get some better treatment out of the big two, especially DC, because DC seems to have a bigger presence at Emerald City than Marvel does.
Marvel doesn't even have a booth.
Right, and I don't think
the second year they don't have one.
Yeah.
Right. Did they have a booth the first year?
Yes.
They did. Okay,
Yep.
I couldn't recall.
Yep.
But but they are having people from Marvel come there.
Oh, sure.
So
they're doing
they
panels.
have a presence.
They're doing panels. They just don't have a.
Right. So Ethan, you were saying before, there was something I wanted to ask you about, because last year, speaking of your frustrations over the canceled titles, I was at the panel where this occurred. Ethan, you had got up and asked them a question, a very specific question. Do you remember what that was?
I think so. Yeah, they were reducing all this variety, but they're also talking about variety. And I asked them, they're talking about adding variety to the DC universe, but all they're giving us is tons of Batman and Flashpoint and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was all just, well, this book's gone, but look, another Batman title. Oh, this book's gone, but hey, you know what? Now there's this edition of the Flash too.
Yeah.
And I called them out on that.
Yeah. Well, what was the other one that you did too, where you asked about a specific storyline that seemed to be just dropped?
In one of the backstories, I don't remember which one it was. It might have been, I think it was like Streets of.
Yeah, it was Batman Streets of Gotham.
Yeah, in the back, there's a backstory with Ragman where Ragman's like home part of Gotham, like the slums, they're all being burnt down by Firefly. And I mean, that was the last issue of it, and it just cut off. It just
they never finished the storyline.
Yeah.
And,
so I guess.
Go ahead.
I was still there, burning down buildings.
That's right. It's never ended.
Now the Flashpoint fixed all that.
Oh, okay.
Well, and if I recall, who was it? Was it Bob Harris?
Yes.
That was chairing that panel.
Yes, and he seemed really concerned.
Yeah, wasn't his response was, really? We did that? We just dropped it?
Yeah. And he's kind of looking back at Martz. No, not Martz. Who is it? Who's the editor for Batman? It is Martz, isn't it? I don't remember. Anyway. Yeah, wondering what happened there.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get, Ethan, a satisfactory answer, even after the con, or did something happen with that?
Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Yeah. And I also thought it was really cool. I don't know if Travis told you, Ethan, but that specific question was reported on another podcast that I listened to, Comic Geek Speak.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool that
the precocious, was he precocious? Is that what they said?
Yeah, I think that's
the word they used.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
you were
it didn't go to his head at all.
I was gonna say you were famous and probably didn't even know it. So yeah, we talk about why we go to Emerald City Comicon, and this is a great con, and I've heard this from other people who have attended Emerald City about the same time, like the first time that we went. Some of the people again from Comic Geek Speak, they went for the first time our first year as well.
Oh, uh-huh.
And so they were talking about it, and every year since then, they've gone, or certain members of them have gone, and this year they have at least one person coming out. But what they do is they actually talk to the con promoter and coordinator, Jim Dimonakis, and they just did an episode with him. But one of the things that they talk about in regards to Emerald City Comicon is that this is a con it's not like San Diego in the sense that we don't have that Hollywood infusion. They don't have it's not as they don't have as much pop culture stuff as say San Diego does, and it's really a comic con. So there's a lot of comic creators that come to this con, and you have a great chance to, as you guys were talking about, talk to them, get their autograph. Buy some art if you're inclined to do that kind of stuff, and then you also have the panels as well. But Travis, let's take if you have your list there, let's take a look at the guests that's coming here. I just want to throw out some names. You guys feel free to throw them out too. I'm looking at the special guest page here, and I'm just going to go down them real quick. But if you scroll down that page, there's a ton.
Yep. In
here. And I'm just looking at the top here. You got Mike Allred. Joe Benitez from Lady Mechanica, which has been a huge, I think, hit with the comic loving community. Me being one of them.
Yeah, there's some exclusive stuff that he has here, don't they?
Yes.
Shirt, whatnot.
Yes, and I want to we'll get to that too, because that shirt looks pretty damn nice. So
yeah.
Let's see, Ed Brubaker is going to be here. Kurt Busick, if he's feeling up to it. I understand that he has had some health problems recently, but nothing's been said that he's not going to be there. I particularly like his work. Greg Capullo from Batman.
He's giving away a limited print 200 of Scarecrow.
Really?
Just that he drew up just for Emerald City Comicon. Yeah, he put it on his Facebook or something like that. A little snip of, so you can just barely see it. You can actually see the whole thing. But that he's supposedly giving away 200 of.
Just like the first 200 people?
That would be my understanding.
Oh,
I don't know that for sure. Yeah, I know. That's been my hardest thing is trying to decide where I'm going to walk, not run to first when they open the doors.
yeah.
Kind of a thing. So
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. CB Cebulski from Marvel, like I said, Marvel Comics has a presence. They just don't have a booth. Michael Cho.
Yeah.
The guy that you've talked
Brian
briefly,
Chirilla?
Brian Chirilla.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to him with the first issue of his The Secret History of D.B. Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna talk to Matthew Clark too. I liked a lot of his work on Doom Patrol. He's an artist. I may be purchasing some pages this year. I haven't decided for sure. Yeah, so we'll see.
All right. Matt Fraction's going to be there.
Yep.
Francesco Francavilla.
Yep. That's actually the first place I'm going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And why is that?
I'm going to get a con sketch from him. I hope.
Of what? Do you have something in mind? Or?
I don't have a Batman yet to put on my wall.
Oh.
So okay. I figured him doing me a nice pulpy kind of a Batman, that'd be pretty cool. That's my plan. We'll see if I make it there and get in the list and whatnot. So.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Tony Harris is going to be there. If you're familiar with Starman and Ex Machina.
Yeah.
He's currently doing the covers to the Shade maxi series as well. So he's a good artist. Phil Hester, Georges Genti from the Buffy series. Brandon Jurwa. Yeah, I talked with Brandon Jurwa over Twitter a couple years ago because he was actually at the Spokane Comicon. The first year that we went to Emerald City, he was at the Spokane Comicon, and that's another con that I go to. I've gone to the last 3 years as well, one in Spokane. So you want to get a huge contrast.
I'm going to the Spokane one this year.
Oh, you are? Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's my plan.
All right. So everybody kind of knows what San Diego is about or like, especially and if you don't, you can always if you have access to the G4 channel, you can watch their 3-day coverage of San Diego Comic-Con, which I do.
Yeah.
I waste a weekend watching that. Anyway, so it's huge. It's very huge. Seattle is a few steps down from that, in a good way, a very good way. And then Spokane itself is several steps down from that, but they keep growing, and they might get up there to the point where there's a lot of creators coming, and there's a lot more involvement of the comic book community and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that growth. And anyway, but I had a pleasure of conversing briefly with Brandon Jurwa. He seemed like a pretty cool comic creator. So he'll be there.
Robert Kirkman's going to be there.
Kirkman, yes, I hadn't got down that. There he is, right there. Yep, Kirkman's going to be there.
That'll be all kinds of crazy.
Oh my God, I would love to go, just say hi to him and say, I love your work in general, but I'm thinking I'm not even going to try because it's just going to be impossible. Yeah.
Well, they've got I believe that at least for the Image booth anyway, that they're giving out limited tickets to get to see and have him sign your work and whatnot. Not to say that you can't maybe find him someplace else. Same with Nick Spencer, obviously you haven't got to on the list, who writes Morning Glories.
Mm-hmm.
That's gotten so big for Image also that I think they're giving out tickets every day for when he's at that booth. I mean, I think he's at his own booth potentially too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know. Now he's huge. But Morning Glories was out last year, though, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And I had no problems. I mean, when I don't read Morning Glories.
Oh.
I've been meaning to pick up. I know. I got to start picking up the trades.
That's a heck of a series.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But I had Nick Spencer sign both my Infinite Vacation and Thunder Agents. And I stood there and talked to him. There was nobody else, around. And I don't remember what day that was.
Well, that's the charm of Emerald City Comicon, I think, because even though, maybe Kirkman might be an exception here because of the whole TV show. Exactly. But you can, you can access these creators, if they're at a table signing stuff. Yeah. I think the longest line I saw last year,
Bendis,
I stood in line for maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah. And really, that isn't that bad.
No.
Because I mean, the line was really long for him. Every year we've been there. I was shocked. He's not on the list this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other nice thing about I think about Emerald City Comicon. There are so many creators that live in the Northwest of the United States that they have no problems with coming to this con because it's just a drive up the interstate. It's not like they're having to travel. A lot of these guys to get there.
Yeah.
Fraction, his wife, and Chris Samney, Bendis. A lot of these people, they all live right around here. So it's not like, I don't know. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely agree with that.
But yeah, any creator that I've gone up to, I have not felt like I have been pressured because of the line that's behind me or anything to not stand there and shoot the breeze about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And go back and talk to him 2 or 3 times over the 3 days period. Because inevitably, the first time I talk to him, unless it's somebody I've talked to before, I am usually just so amped up that I'm getting to actually talk to him that I forget half of what I might have wanted to say or whatever. So then I end up inevitably having to go back by later on and going, oh yeah, by the way, this and that or whatever else kind of a thing. So
yeah. Well, you're more adventurous than I am, Travis. I pretty much get up there and say hi, and I thank them for their work, or I might mention a specific series or run on a series that they've done that I particularly liked, and I get their autograph, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I kind of get, I guess, a little bit starstruck, from these guys. I don't tend to, like musicians, rock stars and stuff like that. I don't tend to get, all a flutter about those guys. Same with actors. With a few exceptions, but the comic creators, I get next to them. I'm like, oh my God, I've seen your name printed on these comics for 30, some of them 30 years. I'm like, I don't know what to say to you.
Marv Wolfman was there last year. Holy cow!
Who? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Marv Wolfman.
Oh, Wolfman, yeah.
I was an idiot going up to him because I
didn't even get the chance.
I can't remember not. I can't remember there not his name not being on comic books since I've been reading comic books.
Yeah. And speaking of Wolfman, so like I said, I didn't get the chance to whether he wasn't around when I was on the floor or vice versa. I just couldn't connect with him. I saw him on a panel, but I couldn't actually go up to him and thank him for his work and say hi. But I believe it. Yes, it was Monday morning, Monday after the con ended, and my wife and I went to have breakfast in the hotel restaurant.
Uh-huh.
And guess who is sitting across the aisle and up two tables from me?
Marv Wolfman.
Marv Wolfman.
Yeah.
But I still didn't go up and because guys having breakfast. I'm not going to go bother him.
Breakfast either.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm not that kind of a fan.
Because I went by his table more than once, and he was sitting there with nobody talking to him.
Are you kidding me?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Okay. And he's not here this year, is he?
Nope.
Dang it. I missed my chance. Maybe he'll be back some other time. Anyway. Okay. So, where we leave off, Kirkman?
Yes.
I want to mention specifically Barry Kitson, the artist, is going to be there. Barry Kitson, because, oh my God, I love his work. And, so I've not done what you've done, Travis, where you've commissioned artists to give you sketches.
Right.
I haven't done that yet. This may be the first year I do that, depending on how much Barry Kitson charges.
Is this because of his Fantastic Four work?
Oh yes. You're
gonna get a Sue Richards
Yes.
So he's just gonna hand you a blank piece of here's the little girl.
Oh, I hope not. That would be the joke, but I would love to have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see, exactly. I would love to have a Barry Kitson Invisible Woman sketch. That'd be awesome. Hey, Ethan, is there anybody that we've skipped that you want to see? So far?
Don't know.
Ethan doesn't. Except for a few people that I talk about a lot. I don't think Ethan memorizes creators.
No.
As to who it is. I mean, we'll see people and I'll go, hey, that person does that, and then Ethan's obviously interested in talking to them, but
Yeah.
Okay.
But you'd recognize the Nice Templar people, right?
Yeah.
That's his thing, not my thing. So.
Okay. Great. Okay, so a few more, several more people. Scott Kurtz is going to be there. People who read PvP, which is one of my favorite webcomics. Eric Larson's going to be there.
Yep.
The Savage Dragon guy.
Well, there's time.
Dustin Nguyen's going to be there. He was there last year. I almost asked for a sketch from him, Batgirl.
Yeah.
Michael Avon Emming, Andy Owens, which is actually he's a local guy. I think he's either from or lives in Spokane. So he does inks on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's also doing some stuff, or has done some stuff for DC and some other Static Shock. He did work on that. Rick Remender, Chris Robertson, Greg Rucka, Tim Sale. That's another guy I would consider asking a sketch from. I love his work. Chris Samney, Travis, you and I talked about him in the last episode, I think. Taking on Daredevil.
Yep.
So he'll be there. I liked him from last year's Comic-Con.
Last year, yeah, we got a piece of art that's Phantom Stranger and Dr. Fate. It's now proudly mounted over our...
It's hung on the wall. Yeah.
That's Chris Samney that you got it from?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, and as I recall, that was a pretty darn good sketch too.
Yep.
Yeah. Bill Sienkiewicz, Travis, is going to be there.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm bringing my graphic novel of Daredevil. You know, they put out him and Frank Miller put out way back. Oh, when was that thing put out? Well, it was first graphic novels. They were first putting out graphics, just that oversized, large thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not coming to mind. I don't know what that is.
I'm trying to think of when it was put out. It was put out in '86.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, it's just called Marvel graphic novel Daredevil. And that's it. It doesn't have a.
So you're bringing that? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, because man,
awesome.
it just stretched my. I remember when this came out, and it just absolutely stretched my brain as far as what you could do with art in a comic book. You know, because it's all painted. It's all, you know, his kind of, you know, crazy, you know, style and whatnot. So yeah, I plan on packing it with me and having him sign it. And he'll be one of those people, because he's done so much just incredible stuff. He'll be one of those people that I'll, you know, unless I get to talk to him 2 or 3 times, I'll be an idiot the first 2 times I talk to him and just kind of go, because I, you know, give him stuff because, you know, his stuff is just so cool.
Okay. Yeah. Bill Sienkiewicz will be there. That just blows my mind. Yeah.
He's so huge. I mean, that's just, yeah.
Yeah. Mark Silvestri, Gail Simone's going to be there finally.
I grew long enough. Jeez.
Well, it's hilarious. We kind of laugh about Gail Simone because the first year we were going to go, Gail Simone's going to be there. We're all excited. Yay, she's going to be there. Yep. Last moment, she cancels because she's going to the Kansas City Comicon. Fine. The next year we get all amped up because Gail says because I ask her every year, I Twitter her, you gonna go? She's like, yeah, I'm going. Of course I'm going. We get all excited. Last year she goes to Armageddon Con in New Zealand and Australia. Okay, I can't blame her for going to New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, I'm like, dang it. You know, and so this year I just keep waiting.
I know.
Keep waiting for her to go. I'm going
to cancel
else instead. Damn you. Yeah, so I'm very excited that seems like she's actually going to be there. Yeah. I've got lots of books to have her sign, and she'll be another person that, because I like so much of her stuff, I'll probably be an idiot and gush all over and, you know, not be able to formulate actual questions or why did you do this or, you know, whatever. So.
Don't worry, I'll drag you away before you look too stupid.
Thanks.
It's good to have a wingman.
That's right.
You mentioned Nick Spencer before. He's going to be there. Ben Templesmith will be there again. Yep. And did you get to talk to him last year, Travis?
You know, I didn't talk to him last year. I talked to him the first year. He was really cool. Had him sign my Fell #1.
I did too.
He told me that my name, you know, Travis, that's a great name. That's a manly name. More people should be named Travis. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I loved him. He was very personable, and you know, I like I said, I had him sign my issue 1 of Fell, and he's like, "Oh, it's coming back." You know, at that time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it hasn't materialized yet.
Right. Every time somebody shows up with a Fell book, he's always apologetic.
Yeah.
That it's coming in.
You know, he was just like I said, he was very personable. I found it amusing because I was waiting in line to have him, talk to him and have him sign that issue, and there was a guy ahead of me, and he just basically poured out all this stuff onto Templesmith's table,
Right.
asking
That's
him to
annoying.
sign it, right? And well that as if that's not bad enough, the guy was asking Templesmith to sign stuff that Templesmith did not actually draw. And so Templesmith called him on it,
Yeah.
but he still did it. He still signed it, but he was kind of I don't know why you want me to do this, man. But he was good. He was a good guy about it. Bruce Timm is going to be there. If you're a fan of the animation, DC animation stuff, he'll be there.
Yeah.
Marcus Toe, who more recently did the art on Huntress, which was very nice.
Yep.
Another good artist I like, Paul Tobin, who did work on. I'm sorry, he's the writer. Sorry, he's the writer of Spider-Girl. Did you ever read that, Travis?
No.
That short-lived Spider-Girl series. I actually enjoyed that. That was coming out at the same time as the Brian Q. Miller Batgirl, and there were some similarities there. Not just a young girl being a superhero type thing, but yeah, it was a nice compliment to my reading Batgirl by reading that version of Spider-Girl.
And got canceled before its time.
Yep, same situation.
Yeah.
Jim Valentino, here we are getting to the end of it. Matt Wagner.
Yeah.
Boy, that's another one. Could you imagine getting a sketch from Matt Wagner?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Man, I need to watch where I'm going to spend my money this year. Bill Willingham will be there.
Yeah.
For us old fogies, he's the guy that created Elementals before he was well known today for his Fables stuff.
Right. I have my Elementals #1 pulled out. We'll see if I make it to him to.
Oh, that's an excellent idea.
To get him to sign it.
Yeah.
Just because, I remember when that came out, and that was one of those books that, maybe people don't put it in a category of game changers, but it sure felt like a game changer to me.
Oh, yeah.
First, it was by a company we'd never heard of, and they cussed and swore, and people died.
Mm-hmm. There were consequences.
Yeah, there were real consequences. What you didn't. There wasn't a guarantee at the end of the day that everyone was going to come out the other end of the thing. So yeah. So I would like to have it signed and be able to say, hey, thanks for that, just because it was one of those things at the age I was at to go, wow.
Yeah.
You could do something else in a superhero comic.
That's right. And I actually, last year at Emerald City, I was able to complete my Elementals collection. So I have all of because there were basically, I think there were 3 volumes of that, that first series that you and I are familiar with. And then they stopped that and started again. And then they stopped that and started another one. I think I have all 3 volumes now of that series.
Oh. I've had all 3 volumes.
You did?
Yeah. I don't know why. Somehow I ended up still getting it. So.
Let's see. Brian Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're happy about that.
I've been, every year at the end of the con, after the show's over with, they'll put up on the website, I think if you take a survey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you like? What you didn't like? Who do you want to see show up? Every year.
You say
I
what?
put Brian Wood's name down. It's one of the people I put down. Put this guy down. I want to hear him talk. I want to be able to meet him.
So is this the first year he's been there?
Yes.
Okay.
Since we've been going anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Matter of fact, he was actually talking once before everything really exploded, back when he was doing local, and they hadn't announced that he was going to be doing DMZ yet and whatnot. He was talking about going to Spokane at one point.
Really?
Yeah, and some other knuckleheads talked him out of it.
Oh.
I won't name those other knuckleheads, but
call them out, man.
but they had more pull because their name is actually recognizable, whereas of course my name isn't recognizable, because I was like, oh hell no, don't listen to them, come. But yeah.
All right. So that's just a fraction of the special guest comic creators that are going to be there. Let's see. Unless you guys have something to add about as far as the comic guests.
Nope.
Move on to I just want to mention the other 2 groupings of guests. Media guests. I know, Travis, you're not big on those.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think these people are all cool, but that's not why I don't go to the con to, get signed autographs by these people or listen to their panels. Now, I will say this, my wife comes along with me. She goes to a lot of these things, and I live through these panels vicariously through her because she goes to them, really enjoys the heck out of them. And then, on our ride home, she tells me about all the great stuff that I missed because I didn't go to these things.
Yeah, yeah.
But usually they conflict with what I got going on with my comic books, and the comic book stuff is the more important thing for me.
Right, yeah. And I have to admit, there are a few media guests that have come the last couple of years that I really had to see because of my love of those particular actors or the shows they were in. We had the first year we had Leonard Nimoy. He was there. Last year we had the Shat was there. So, I got to go see these people.
Yeah.
They were they were a part of my geeky life before comics
definitely.
were. So,
Definitely.
I kind of have to involve myself with that, and then then move on. Once I see them, I don't need to go. Like last year with Shatner, I didn't get in a line to get his autograph or anything. I just went and listened to him talk, and that was good enough for me. So. As long as it doesn't conflict too much with some of the comic panels, I'm willing to go. But this year they've got Adam Baldwin.
Yeah, I like him.
He's I love him. I loved him in Firefly and Serenity, of course. He's been a character actor for many years. You'd be surprised. I think some people would be surprised. Oh, he was in that. That kind of he's that kind of an actor.
Yeah, definitely.
He's more recently known for his role in Chuck, so he'll be there. There's a couple actors from The Walking Dead, John Bernthal and Laurie Holden, that are scheduled to be there. Let's see, Summer Glau. Here's another Firefly alum.
Yep.
She will be there.
She's been in a ton of different sci-fi kind of things. I mean, just
Mm-hmm. And she's a nice looking young lady.
Yeah.
I'll say. Christopher Judge from Stargate SG-1. My wife loves him.
Yep.
Thinks he's a pretty man. Edward James Olmos, who was only going to be there on Friday, has now been confirmed to be there all 3 days.
Yep, that's cool.
So, if you...
I'll wear my Miami Vice t-shirt.
I was going to say, for us old
Blade
folks...
Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner and Miami Vice, and he's done a ton of movies, of course,
Oh, sure.
but he's been, I think, more in the public eye recently for his role in the most recent version of Battlestar Galactica, which was awesome. Speaking of Star Trek people, earlier, like I mentioned earlier, George Takei will be there, who played Sulu, of course. That might be interesting to see. He's quite the, he's quite the character.
Oh. He definitely is.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of stuff going on.
Well, he does a lot of voiceover work and animated stuff, and that's something I want to talk about next as far as the guests go. There's a few other people. Of course, Will Wheaton will be there, which is great.
Yeah. Have you ever been to one of his things?
Yes.
I hear the Will Wheaton Awesome Show is, beyond awesome. So.
It is awesome. I went the first year. I did, and absolutely loved it. Of course, I have been a fan of his writing and his his voiceover work. I haven't seen too much of his actual acting.
Will Wheaton.
Well, I was gonna say I did see him on Big Bang Theory as Evil Will Wheaton, but he's had roles on Leverage and Eureka. I've not seen those.
Hey, who is he the voice for in Brave and the Bold? Ethan wants to know.
Brave and the Bold, he was Blue Beetle, Ted Kord Blue Beetle.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
I can see that. Okay.
Watch, I'm wrong about that, and anybody who's listening is going, "You idiot." I'm pretty sure it was the Ted Kord Blue Beetle because he announced that on Twitter that when that episode premiered, and I wrote back and said thanked him for the job he did because that was a good episode. But anyway, his Awesome Hour. I went to that first one and it was spectacular. If you don't listen for those out there listening, if you don't listen to his Radio Free Burrito, you're missing out, one. And two, that's kind of the taste that you get if you go to his Awesome Hour at Emerald City, which this year has been extended by 30 minutes. So it's an awesome hour and a half.
Sweet.
and I will be there. Last year, I did not get to go to his awesome hour. I was there for like the last maybe 10 minutes because I was at some other panel. And as soon as that panel was over, I hightailed it to to Will Wheaton's. Actually, I think I left that panel early because I think maybe it was a DC one. I'm like, they're not telling us anything new.
That was like the second one, and
I think it was
the same damn thing over and over again.
Yeah, so I hightailed it out of that one, and I made it to the end of his awesome hour, and I felt very disappointed that I missed it. So I don't care what panel's going on. I'm going to Will Wheaton anyway. Those are some of the guests. There are some others. Leah Thompson, James and Oliver Phelps from the Harry Potter series.
Yep.
Recently added Jason Momoa, I don't know how to say that, but he's in Game of Thrones on HBO. He's done some other. Oh, he was on Stargate Atlantis. That's right. I remember him from that. Eddie McClintock from Warehouse 13, and finally Julie Caitlin Brown, who was on Babylon 5 and some other sci-fi shows that we would know. That's the media guess. I keep waiting for them to announce Nathan Fillion will come to one of these, and then I don't care what's going on in my life, I will attend to see Nathan Fillion. This year, though, here's the final group of guests that I wanted to point out. This is so awesome, Travis. I can't wait for some of these panels featuring these individuals. But they're doing voice talent, or they're having voice actors come in and attend the con and do some panels. Notably, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
You know, best known
Original,
for his work on Batman the Animated Series and pretty much almost all of the animated movies.
Right.
They've started branching out to include other actors as Batman, but I think Kevin Conroy is best known for that. John DiMaggio, who does Bender on Futurama and Aquaman on Batman Brave and the Bold.
That's the one Aquaman I like.
Yeah.
Because he's hilarious.
Aquaman, and because I used to watch Kim Possible back when it was still
Kim
on.
Possible, Dr. Draken. That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
I loved Kim Possible.
Yeah.
Draken was awesome. We have some people, Jess Harnell, Maurice LaMarche, and the pictures I'm seeing here, because they include the characters that they portray on the website here, and so I'm seeing
Warner Brothers
stuff. Wacko Warner is Jess Harnell. Maurice LaMarche is
the Brain.
Rob Paulson, which is Pinky. Tara Strong, which does a lot of work. I mean, look at the list of stuff that she works on.
Yeah.
Care Bears, Batman, Ben 10, Teen Titans, Family Guy. Wow, a lot of stuff. That's right. She was the voice of Bubbles on the Powerpuff Girls.
Nice.
And then finally Billy West from Futurama.
Yeah.
The voice of Philip J. Fry.
And he's both Ren and Stimpy. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And so I mentioned the panels that they'll be attending or they'll be on. One of them is, and I'm actually really looking forward to this. They get these guys together and they all do scenes from famous scenes from movies or other shows, but in the voices that they're known for.
Well, that'd be funny.
Yes. My wife is actually very much looking forward to this.
I got to see how much this stuff conflicts with the other stuff I want to go to.
No, that is the bad thing about this. There's just so much stuff. I mean, the con, it's great, con-wise because so many people can come and they have, their various interests, and you can select here and here and here and be very satisfied as a con goer. But for those of us who want to go to everything, it's pretty much impossible because there's just so much stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so speaking of all the stuff, the programming, I don't even know where to start, Travis. There's just so much here. Starting at 3:00 on Friday. I think that the doors open at 2 on Friday, but then the panels start at 3 and go till 8. I think
8 o'clock, something like that. Yeah, the first day.
No, I'm sorry. It's just 5. That's when the panels end is 5 for that day. No, wait, sorry. No. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Like the Marvel Breaking Into Comics is from 6 to 7,
yes,
for instance.
Right. I scrolled all the way down, but that was for all 3 days. You're right. Yeah.
The movie mashup featuring the finest voice talents in the galaxy has to offer, that is from 6:30 until 8.
Oh, is that on Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
When are we going to eat? That's what I'm trying to figure
I know.
out.
Well, okay. So yeah, Friday, the last panel closes at 9.
And see that Kirkman panel? That Kirkman panel's at 7 to 8 also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even plan to go to that one, but oh, you know a nice thing that they're doing this year. I don't remember them doing this, or at least naming them this way last year, but they had this Spotlight series.
Spotlight series, yeah.
Featuring various creators, and so there's a lot of those this year. Like on Friday, there's one from Mark Silvestri.
Brian Woods is at 3:00.
Brian Wood, okay. Camilla Derrico. Is that it on Friday? Anyway, yeah, there's Brian Wood. I see him now. Yeah, there's just and it's not just it's not just comic creators and voice talent or media guests, but you get things like Women of Web series.
Yeah,
that's one of the first panels. The Rat City Roller Girls.
Yes.
If you wanted to, they actually have a couple of these panels too, where it's more in the line of like the technology behind creating comics or web comics, or
there's a lot of those this year.
The future of illustrations in Photoshop. They got some guys coming here to demo Photoshop technology and talk about that.
They're showing movies.
The Seattle Superstorm.
Right.
One? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife wants to go to that. Because she doesn't care about the comic stuff like I do, so
right.
or at all. She cares about it because I care about it, but she has no interest in the comic stuff. So the pop culture stuff, the media stuff like that, yeah, she can get into that. Wow, is there anything on Friday, Travis, that really pops out at you?
Well, the Brian Wood thing, I'm going to go to that. That's a for sure. I'm going to hit the DC All Access.
Yep.
So it's going to be a mad race from one place to the next place to get those, because that's 3 to 4, 4 to 5. There's some other stuff in there that I would like to see. I don't know that realistically I'm going to get to them though, because of I want to be able to eat and stuff like that somewhere along the way. There's a lot of these that could be interesting. The Wonder Woman in Bondage, that could actually be interesting. That's a speaker who basically has been, studying a lot of that sort of thing. And, it's kind of his take on what the original writer's thoughts were on Wonder Woman and the psychological theories behind it and stuff. That might be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, then then from 5 to 6 is Bill Swinsky's Spotlight panel. So I don't think I'm going to make it to that, though. I'm thinking that first day I'm going to be exhausted. I'd like to go to the Not So Late show with Oni Press, too. It's from 7 to 8. I might go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have Brian Lee O'Malley there. He's the writer of Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, right. Yep.
That's supposed to be kind of a, late talk show host kind of a thing. So I think that might be fun. So I may go back to that depending on how worn I am after because I will be traveling. Basically, I will be traveling over from the eastern side of Washington to the western side of it on Friday, getting off my train, getting to my hotel, and then running to get in line for the con. So hopefully I can get as close to the front of the line of the con as I can, so I can make it to get on a list for some sketches that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see how I am by then.
Wait, you're not interested in coming back that night at 8 for the Karaoke Hero panel? Or event, I should say?
Probably not.
Come on, I want to see you out there singing some songs, Travis.
Yeah, and that's going from 8 until midnight.
I know. That's way too late for us oldies.
Not I'm getting up super early the next morning. It kind of depends on a lot of that stuff. It depends on how the rest of the day goes. Depends on what else I do. If I get to certain people, meet them, talk to them, get that sort of stuff, then it kind of frees up the rest of my day, depending on what other kind of panels I want to go to and stuff. Mm-hmm. There are some panels I know for sure. I'll hit the DC panels at least on Friday and Saturday.
Right.
And then kind of from there, it's kind of, I'd like to go to the Gail Simone panel. I think it's on Saturday. Just kind of depends.
So Ethan, what about you? Anything on Friday that's popping out that you'd like to attend?
No. as I scroll halfway up the entire page. I think the only press thing would be interesting to go to because it was interesting. It's kind of fun. Last year, I'm definitely going to DCL Access too. Maybe they'll tell us something this year. Otherwise, I don't know. I think I'll just be tagging along with whatever Travis goes to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm looking at Saturday now. You got the Will Wheaton 90-minute Awesome Hour. That's at 11:30. So I'll be there for that. Yeah, then you got a bunch of the Spotlight series, Rick Remender, Greg Capullo.
See, I may go to that 20 Years of Independence, the Image Comics 20th Anniversary panel.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one to go to.
Well, you'll be listening to Will Wheaton.
Oh darn! See?
Yeah.
Dang it!
Yeah.
Dang it! Let's see. I just saw something here. Oh yeah, the DC Comics, the New 52. That's at 3:00 on Saturday.
Right. Definitely
go see that.
Definitely go to that.
That should be very interesting.
I'm gonna hit the Vertigo New Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always go to the Vertigo panel.
Yeah. Well, and there's Dark Horse, Dynamite. They both have their panels too. I'd love to go to those as well.
When's the Dark Horse?
That is, I just saw that one. That's at 4.
So it's after the DC, so I can make it to that one.
Yeah.
I'm kind of irritated that both the main Oni Press panel is at the same time the DC Comics panel is.
Mm-hmm.
That frustrates me.
On the Marvel side, you can go to the Pint of CB Cebulski at 2:00, and he'll have Matt Fraction, Ed Brubaker, Dan Slott, and Rick Remender there.
Yeah.
To talk Marvel Comics.
Plus, whoever else, other people always show up to those panels.
Oh yeah, people come in and out all the time.
Marvel's having their Avengers versus X-Men panel.
Yeah.
On Saturday, also that's something you were talking about, wasn't it?
No, that's after the CB one.
Mm.
Pretty much the same people though.
Yeah.
Of course, they only have those many people. So, but yeah, I don't know that I was going to go to that one. But the one panel after that, after the Avengers versus X-Men in the list here is Star Wars versus Star Trek presented by the Portico Dance Company. Did you read that description?
No, I haven't. I'm just starting to read it now. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. And then you have the Oh My, It's George Takei panel at 5.
Yeah, but I can't go to that because Gail
Simone is at the same time. I'll be there. Sorry, yeah. George Takei. Star Wars The Radio Play. Travis, at 6. It's the Star Wars trilogy like you've never heard it before. Join voice actors Billy West, Tara Strong, Kevin Conroy, and others as they recreate the magic of the Star Wars films in their own special way.
Yeah, that'll be hilarious.
Oh my God, that would be something else. And then, of course, Saturday, as always, they end Saturday with the ECCC Saturday Night Costume Party, which I have not attended in the last 2 years that I've gone. I really want to go see this.
I may go this year if I can get my camera recharged by then, because I'm sure the batteries will all be way dead by then. I may go.
Yeah, because that's one thing we haven't mentioned yet, because there is a huge contingent of cosplayers that attend Emerald City, and
it gets bigger every year.
Yeah, that's right. And some of those costumes are fantastic.
Yeah,
I can't imagine the time and money that they put into these things. It's just incredible. Last year, one of the best costumes I saw was a Golden Age Green Lantern costume. It was like Alan Scott was standing right next to me.
Yeah.
In real life. I didn't have my camera. And I really, yeah. Kitra had it, and we were in, actually it was, when I first saw him, it was me coming into the the last part of the Will Wheaton Awesome Hour. Kitra had the camera, and she was sitting somewhere in the audience.
Oh.
So, and then every time I saw him, it was just real brief, and I couldn't catch up to him and ask him for a picture, because that was just incredible. But I mean, not just there's a ton of people that come and do these things. The only bad thing about that, Travis, I think you would agree, is people are always asking to take pictures with, or just take pictures of, the cosplayers, and I really wish there was like a separate area for that to happen, but many times it's on the con floor when you're trying to get from one table to another, and people are basically blocking the walking path because people are taking all these pictures all the time.
Uh-huh.
But I guess that's just part of the con. I understand that, but at the same time, I want to get to the table I want to get to.
Right. It seems to me like though that a lot of those the cosplayers will congregate in the Sky Bridge area.
Yeah, that
between the two parts of the
That's true, they do.
And so that's an okay place.
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
I mean, when me and Ethan were going back and forth, there was a whole bunch of different people. I don't think they were together, but they ended up getting together. And you basically had like the Justice League versus
the Justice League and like a ton of different villains. Like it was pretty much as awesome. It's pretty much the Justice League versus each member of the separate Justice League versus their own arch villain.
Yeah.
And there's some Batman.
So it was like almost like the Injustice League versus Justice League kind of a thing. It was
fiasco.
Oh, I missed that. I saw the individuals walking around, but I didn't see them like together like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They got together for some pictures and whatnot.
Very cool.
Yeah, and somebody had a puppy there, and so that was the center focus of what they were either going to save or destroy. It was fun. It was pretty cool.
A puppy.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on Saturday?
Bill Willingham. That might be cool to go to too.
Right.
I just don't know that I'll make it to that stuff because, like I said, at some point I got to eat.
Well, and peruse the con floor
right,
with all the creators and the vendors. Yeah, there's I keep saying this, but man, just so much stuff. Sunday, you got the conversation with Summer Glau, for those of us who are fans of hers. Francis Manipul.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention him before. He has a spotlight panel at 11 that day on Sunday.
Yep. And he has a table. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Skybound. Kirkman's Imprint and Image. They're doing they're having their own panel there. Kirby Crackle, Unplugged.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Kirby Crackle stuff?
I don't currently own anything. I need to because it's just fun. It's just fun. Celebrating comic stuff. So.
You got the Adam Baldwin panel is that day as well. DC Art Masters drawing DC Comics. So you got Greg Capullo, Francis Manipul, and Philip Tan. Join them for a unique peek into their visual approach in shaping DC Comics The New 52. That might be interesting to go.
Yeah.
See? Okay, so we went to that one last year where we mentioned Chris Samney earlier, and they did that Comic Twart panel.
Yep.
Where they were supposed to, basically, during that time, they were supposed to be drawing something, and then, I don't know, they were going to judge which is the best. Or maybe all of them were going to go to that art auction that they do.
That's what they did. They all went. They donated their time.
Yeah.
So all of their pieces were going to go to the art auction where they auction art off for the local children's hospital, correct?
Right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
And what the subject matter was Conan? Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was Conan last year.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So I think the only problem about panels where artists are drawing or talking about art is that we don't get to see it as they're doing it. I wish they would put cameras like above them or something and then project that out so we could see them doing the work as they're doing it. But I'm sure that's just logistically it's probably just too complicated to do. But I really wish they would consider doing something like that because that would just make those panels a lot more interesting. Because some of the artists, some are talky as they're doing their work, but some are, they're concentrating on their work, so they don't talk. So you're sitting there just kind of waiting for to see something. What you see is kind of neat, but you have to wait for that anyway.
See, I think I'm interested in the Super Addicted, Deed of the Addiction in the Four Colored World.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's got Matt Fraction and Ben Saunders who wrote Do Gods Wear Capes, where they're going to discuss representation of alcoholism and drug addiction in American superhero comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
The Edward James Olmos panel is that day as well. Role-playing games for kids, running those. You have a panel on that. Oh, here we go. Thunderdome, the Artist Duel. Actually, I think they had that on Saturday as well, but they have one on Sunday too. Yeah, it says 2 artists enter, 1 artist leaves. Well, leaves victorious anyway. But they don't. And the pieces will be auctioned with the proceeds going to the Seattle Children's Hospital. But they don't mention which artist will be involved in that. So that might be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Ooh, and just for the Star Trek fans like me out there, they have Star Trek Phoenix screening. It's a Seattle-based fan series. I've never heard of this, so this is interesting. So they got people from that fan-based show. And that's about it as far as highlights. I mean, there's a ton more stuff we've skipped over that we'll be attending as far as panels go. I know, but I mean, that's just a rundown of just a few quick things every day, and that's a lot of stuff that we just talked about. And there's just so much more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then like I mentioned before, when I was complaining about people blocking the aisleways on the show floor, that's where you go to get to talk to the creators. You get like Travis, you get there early and sign up for sketches to buy. You can buy original art. I remember Travis last year, you and I were looking at Williams III. What's his name?
That was the first year.
Oh, that was the first year?
Yeah, and I'm still kicking myself for not having
Yeah.
bots.
But I mean, they have their art there that you can buy, and some of that stuff is really cool. And then for me, because I last year I hit the mother lode, Travis. I have gaps in my comic collection, and so I go to the comic vendors that are there, the comic book vendors, and I found this one. Actually, my wife found this one. I look at all who's there and what they're selling, and kind of see, because some vendors are there and they got comics in bags, and some vendors are there and they've got comics not in bags. Some of the stuff looks kind of old and maybe not well taken care of, and so I kind of pass those by generally because I like to buy my stuff in better condition. But last year, my wife found this one vendor, and while his books, because I had passed him by because his books didn't quite meet my standards,
Right.
but she was looking because I gave her, she that's one thing she likes to do. She likes to help me shop.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I can go, and she's done this. She did this last year for me. That way, I could go to a panel that I really wanted to attend, and she's like, "Give me the list, man. This is I like doing this stuff," and she'll go and find the comics for me. But she found this guy, and he had a ton of stuff that I wanted. Some old stuff from the 70s. Some Legion of Superheroes comics that I'd wanted to get. I found some Karate Kid comics for my brother. So he had tons of. Oh, and remember those digests, Travis, from DC, the Best of DC Blue Ribbon Digests.
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
I love that. I had a bunch of those when I was younger, but over time they just got beat up, and I tossed them aside. Before I was really big into saving these things. I only have a handful now, but there's a ton of them that I remember reading and loving, and I don't have them anymore. Well, guess what? He had a ton of those.
Nice.
So yeah, so I'm very looking forward to filling, like I said, filling in those gaps when I go to the Emerald City Comicon. Lots of neat stuff to buy, not just not just comics, but they have a bunch of other things as well. We've already mentioned getting autographs or buying original art. You talk to the creators, meet some people. That's pretty much. That's it for the show. Basically, I wanted to talk though about the exclusives that they have this year. Travis, you mentioned the shirt that they're selling with Joe Benita's art on it. They also have this, which it's $30 though, but I really want this. It's a limited edition signed by Alex Ross print exclusively for Emerald City.
Right.
An 18 by 24 print. Yeah, I really want to get that and hang that on my wall.
Yeah.
And then they're also offering a Walking Dead T-shirt. They have these. Did you see the bobbleheads?
The bobblehead stormtroopers.
Han Solo and Luke Skywalker as
Stormtroopers.
Yeah. Then you have the Lady Mechanica T-shirt that we mentioned. Yeah, I really like that one.
Oh, the Image Heroes.
Yeah, the Image Heroes one. Yeah.
Didn't they just announce that one too, just recently?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Both the print is pretty. The print is pretty cool, and the T-shirt too is pretty awesome because it's got all those. It's got some of the main Image some of the big image characters all standing on top of the Space Needle.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's got like your Spawn and your Invincible and I think Witchblade. I don't know who else on it.
Yeah, it looks like Witchblade and Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
The monsters, they always have the art book, Monsters and Dames.
Yeah.
Are we going to get that this year again?
Probably.
Cool.
We'll probably end up getting it. I mean, the thing I like about it is it doesn't say it here on this main thing, but I always thought that the money for it always went to Children's Hospital also.
I think it does, yeah.
It says so somewhere in our book that we have.
Yeah. But that's always kind of fun because a ton of the people who put the art in the book are actually at the con. So
right, and so yeah, the first year I got the Monsters and Dames book, I went around and asked a bunch of people the artists who contributed to sign it. And that introduced me to quite a few artists whose work I had not known before. Because I'm looking at that going, oh wow, that's a hell of a drawing, And so I go ask them to sign it, and so that was neat in that regards. Plus your money's going to a charity as well, so that's nice.
Right.
So what? So out of I think there's only 3 T-shirts that they're offering, right? The Walking Dead, Lady Mechanica, and the Image Heroes. Is that right? Yes, that looks to be about it. Yeah. So which one of those are you going to get, Travis? Or do you buy the T-shirts that?
Every year I've bought the T-shirt. This last year it was
Hellboy.
It was Hellboy.
And the year before that it was Witchblade.
Yeah, I like the Hellboy one. I'm not a big Witchblade fan. I bought it just because I wanted to.
About the Witchblade one.
I wanted it because I wanted to, like you're going to a rock and roll concert and you get a T-shirt of the band. I wanted a T-shirt to say, hey, look, I went to this event. So this year it's harder because there are more shirts to pick from.
Sure.
It's a toss-up for me between the Lady Mechanica and the Image Heroes one.
Yeah. So like I said, I think the Image Heroes one is a recent addition. So for me, it was no contest. I want to get the Lady Mechanica one, but I may have to put down another $20 to get that Image Heroes one because that looks pretty cool too.
Yeah, I think I'll be going for the Image Heroes one.
And and they've got other cool exclusive stuff. Variant covers of some of the books that are coming out during that time. Last year I picked up the Intrepids, a variant cover book, which is cool. Actually, that was given to me by the writer, but don't tell anybody. Because I went there to talk to the guy. I didn't actually have the book yet because I order my books online, and so I don't get them every week. So my book wasn't in yet. So I went up to the guy and told him, hey, I'm really excited to be reading your book. I haven't gotten it yet, but and I would have it with me if I had it, so you could sign it and whatnot. And he's like, well, that's fine, great, you're getting one. And he signed a copy and gave me a copy of one of the variant covers that they had there for sale. So nice. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Very nice. Yeah, Travis, I looked at the Monsters and Dames link, and yes, it is for to raise money for the Seattle Children's Hospital. So,
cool.
Yeah, there's just so much to this con, isn't there? Not just all the people coming and all the panels to see, but all the other stuff that you can look at and buy and just have fun with.
Yep, I'm amped for it.
Yeah,
let me tell
I'm excited. I can't wait.
So
Ethan, I wanted to ask you, just in general, why do you want to go to the con? What excites you about the con?
Leaving Clarkston, not like leaving Clarkston just to go to Lewiston, leaving my town to go somewhere big. Yeah. I mean, and for me, it's really big. And that's cool. And standing on the sky bridge and looking down, because it's a really busy street. So watching all the other cars drive by as I stand over the street in between the buildings, that's cool. And then, like I said earlier, meeting the creators and just the general feel of excitement of the Comic-Con, just being there in general, that's cool. I mean, even waiting in line for stuff and being forced to sit in the very back of the room because all the other seats have been taken.
You're okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
because you're there, right?
Uh-huh,
yeah,
exactly.
You get to be there.
Yep. Yep, it's pretty cool getting exposed to the people who are actually doing the stuff, finding out that, well, they're people just like the rest of us, and not these, secretive gods that are creating this incredible thing that we want. And being able to actually, those creators that are there, like in the case of the artists, if they actually have pages there, being able to flip through pages and look at the actual physical work of something that you have in a long box sitting at home, to me, is pretty awesome. Just to see, wow, that's what it really looks like, before it gets, reduced down into what we consume and stuff. That's just pretty cool.
Yeah.
And getting out of town is pretty nice too.
Yes, it is. Especially going, like I said, at the top of the episode, going to Seattle. Seattle is just it's a great city to visit. I don't know that I want to live there. I like my town small, the ones I live in. But it's a great visitor destination. There's just so much to do. Besides, I mean, if perhaps you're a comic book fan and you want to go to the Emerald City Comicon and you've got your significant other with you, and perhaps that person is not into the con stuff.
No, say it isn't so.
My wife, she's not into that.
I know.
But she's nicely enough attends with me and helps me out and goes to some of the panels and enjoys them. But there are some people I know that I'm sure that are out there that perhaps don't care for the con and that scene all that much. But there's so much to do in Seattle. Besides, during that same time, and there are some things on the Emerald City Comicon website, that are associated with the con, but they're not, actually there at the con. They have that the mint condition art show. There's some other things going on. You could check out the webpage for all that stuff. But Seattle is there's just a ton of stuff to do. Is it Pike Place Market?
Market, yep.
Yeah, so that's just down the road.
Yep.
That's always fun to go to.
Go down and watch them throw fish.
Throw fish, that's right. How many times have you been there, Travis?
Not recently, no.
Okay, yeah, well, we because Kitra likes to go down there because we're looking for little gifts for our granddaughters, and so we go down there to see what they got. I should mention this to you, Travis. There is a comic book shop in Pike Place.
What?
Yes.
Oh, now I have to go to Pike's Place.
Yes, you need to go there because it's actually, it's a nice little shop. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of trades. Mostly that's what they sell. But you should go in there anyway because they have a lot of collectible stuff. That's just, you'd look at that and go, oh my God, if I only had the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you should definitely check that out. I wish I remembered what the name of the place was, but I don't. If I find it out, I'll put it in the show notes. I'm also planning, Travis, to try and go to, I believe it's called Excalibur Comics in Seattle. I hear that's a really good shop.
That's what I hear.
So I'm trying to swing that for Monday before we leave to come back home.
Cool.
Maybe I'll find some stuff there as well. But anyway, I can't wait to go to this. So we're recording this on the Sunday before the weekend of Emerald City Comicon.
Uh-huh.
I leave on Thursday to drive out there, and we're spending the night, and then we'll be there waiting in line with you on Friday afternoon. But that means I have 3 days.
Yep.
So it's going to be tough for me to get through those 3 days.
I hear you. I'll be sitting in front of my my guide app, planning and replanning my schedule is what I'll be doing while I'm at work.
That's another thing, that you mentioned that the guidebook app.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's an app called Guidebook for those out there. You can get it on an Android or your iPhone or iPod touches. And it's not just Emerald City. You can download convention guides, maps and schedules for conventions, just like Emerald City.
Yep.
I've already got mine. They provide updates whenever things change to the schedule, which happened just recently because of some of the media guests had other commitments, so they brought in some other folks and they switched some panels around. But it's really nice because you can not only can you know what the schedule is, but you can select you can make your own schedule.
Own schedule. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And set a timer for yourself. And,
to remind you. Yeah. So I actually have it. I have an iPod Touch that I'm probably taking with me, and I have my Android phone that I'm taking with me, and I've got guidebook on both of those, just so I am covered. Anything else we want to say about Emerald City Comicon other than how excited we are and we cannot wait to go, and how much money we're gonna spend?
Don't worry about that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. It's those things. Once I committed to going, this is what it's gonna be, and
Oh, really?
I've got a quasi budget. I got a budget for things, but yeah, to some degree that kind of goes out the door depending on what I get there and what ends up being there.
Sure.
You know, if you find that one great thing, that one great book or whatever, the last one you needed for that, big collection or whatever, I guess I'm willing to commit to the price tag, I guess. So, well, this will be third year. I'm still kicking myself. Granted, it would have been all of my money. I wouldn't have been able to do anything else, basically. But I'm still kicking myself for not having picked up, a page of J.H. Williams III's stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, then I'm definitely this year going to be looking more at getting some sketches from some of these artists too. So depends how much it is. Like I said, I have been.
They're not cheap.
I know. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I have all these comics I want to buy and all this other merchandise that I'll probably end up getting, and yeah, so we'll see. But I have been saving every paycheck. I get a certain amount of money, that I use to, buy lunch or, buy comics, whatever.
Haven't been eating lunch, huh?
Well, I've been trying to, cut down on what I spend that money on, because whatever is left over every pay period, it goes in my little Emerald City Comicon fund.
Sweet.
So I have some money saved up, but it's not nearly enough. I know.
Yeah. But just one more thing about the whole con in general. I go and I take my whole family with me. So that's me, my wife, Ethan, who's 13, and my daughter, who is 11 this year. And we all enjoy it. And we all enjoy it for, well, I think Ethan enjoys it for the same reasons that I do. We're the real comic book consumers in the house. My wife, she reads pretty much everything that we read. She enjoys it. She's interested in talking to people too, and whatnot. But she enjoys the media guests more, television guests and whatnot, and that's her thing. My daughter, Chloe, she likes going. She likes looking at all the stuff. There are a few comics that she's interested in, and some people that are at the con that she met last year that she's interested in talking to again this year. But she likes the merchandise end of things. She always comes away with some weird stuffed animal from one of the vendors, or strange hats,
adorable, heavy air quotes on that.
Some little adorable thing. But last year,
adorable to her, a squeaky octopus.
Was that what it was?
A squeaky octopus,
yes.
Appropriately named Squeaks.
Squeaks, yes.
Yeah.
And it drove us all crazy.
So there is stuff. There is stuff for everybody. It's not. I mean, granted, you need to be old enough to you have the stamina to walk the floor and whatnot.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the one thing. And that's one of the things that I think kept me from going to this con sooner was, did my kids have the stamina to make it through the show? But yeah, so, anybody who doesn't know whether or not that's something that they want to commit to, go for a day. Get the Saturday day pass. You'll get to see the whole craziness of the con. Yeah. And you'll know whether or not you like it or not.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Very true. That's a good point, Travis.
Anyway, that's it.
All right. Anything else, Ethan?
Nope.
We'll see you there.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, I'm looking forward to seeing your family there. I'm sure we'll get together and talk about stuff while we're there. All the exciting things that we've seen and or missed. Or lamenting what I've missed.
You hold me a seat at those panels.
What's that?
You hold us a seat, or we'll hold you a seat at those panels.
Yeah, that's right.
Whoever gets there first.
We should probably compare notes as to what panels we're going to.
Yeah. Well, we know we're going to hit the same DC panels, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
So
we're
at least good there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's it of our, I won't say coverage, but our excitement about the Emerald City Comicon, or how much we look forward to going there, and the crazy fun that we have at Emerald City. I can't wait to go, and I'm going to be so disappointed when it's over. But there's always next year.
It's only 11 months away.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a full year this time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to go next year, but we'll see.
Dude.
Anyway,
3 full days.
don't tempt me. Remember, if you're just remind everyone, Emerald City Comicon this year, 10th anniversary, March 30th, 31st, and April 1st in Seattle, Washington.
Hey, and if you listen to this podcast and you're going to be there, get a hold of us.
Good point, Travis. That's right. Yeah, that'd be great if anybody who listens to the podcast is going to be there at Emerald City Comicon. You can always if you're on Twitter, you can tweet either one of us. Let us know you're around. We'd love to talk to anybody. I won't say fan, but if you're a fan, that's great. Listeners, I should just say listeners. We'd love to meet the listeners and hear what you have to say about the show. So in that regard, I'm on Twitter as Longbox Review.
And I'm on Twitter as _Gaunt_man.
Anything else, Travis? Any other places we want to point people to? All that information is on the Longbox Review WordPress site. As far as contact information, you can also go to Travis's Oddfellows Thoughts at his WordPress page.
Yep.
All right, that's it. That's our talk about Emerald City Comicon. We hope to see you there, and I'm sure we'll get back together after the con and talk about all the fun stuff that we experienced.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Ethan.
Sure.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.